Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This video is going to contain a bunch of tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I first played Alpha Omega. I'm mainly doing this because Xbox are now able to play the map, PC players are now able to play the map, everyone is on, and so these useful tips are going to be good for the entire community to start using in games. The first tip is actually 10 tips in one. It makes a huge difference to gameplay, and it all revolves around Rushmore, the facility AI. Rushmore becomes active when you've turned on the power and activated the Pack-a-Punch, and if you don't know how to do that, and if you need guides for anything in this map, like building the shield, building the teleporter, I've got a huge playlist in the description with every guide you could possibly need for the map. But anyway, why do we need Rushmore on? Well, when you activate Rushmore and you access him for the first time, you're able to enter codes into his input terminal on the left-hand side. And yes, there's like main quest Easter egg stuff that you can do with that, but there's also individual codes that you can enter to get yourself basically a load of free stuff. So, for example, if you enter the code BANK, which is 2265, you get 1,000 free points. Just like that, for entering a code, one code. And then the next round, you can enter another code, for example, noob, which will set all the zombie health back to round 1 health, which is crazy. You've got door, which will make one door on the map totally free. You'll just go up to it and it'll say, hold square, 0 points. You've got nuke as a code, which will spawn a nuke power-up. Time will freeze all zombies for 15 or 20 seconds or so. Pack will spawn in a bonfire sale, which is super useful, especially if you're doing the Raygun Mark II upgrades, which I'll talk about later. Cola will halve the price of the cola perk. Soda will halve the price of the soda perk. Brew will halve the price of the brew perk. And finally, probably the most important one, especially if you're doing any Easter egg attempts, Easy, or 3279, will basically give you a free undead man walking for 5 entire minutes. It's so good to have this on command whenever you need it, basically. If you want to do the round 200 Easter egg, you're going to want to be doing this. If you're going to be doing the Easter egg, you're going to want to be doing this. It's just so damn useful. So, speaking of making things easier, a tip that I would give everyone is that don't let the Easter egg intimidate you. The Easter egg on this map is actually one of the easiest in all the main zombies games, and it's actually a pretty fun one to do as well, so jump into it. You could try it solo, but it's definitely easier with a team, and just give it a crack. I've got my guide in the description, like I said, and I genuinely think that you might find that you're pleasantly surprised with this, and you can get through the Easter egg without a lot of bother at all. You can often find teammates to do the Easter egg with by going down into the comments section of my Easter egg guide and just leaving a comment, and someone might get back to you there. Or, if you want a little bit more of a direct response, jump into my Discord server, discord.gg/waffles, and in there's a looking for team channel where you can say, hey, I want to do the Easter egg on this platform at this time, and I have a mic, and then other people will let you know if they're free to do it, and you can team up that way. So I said I would come back to the Raygun Mark IIs, right? You can build the Raygun Mark IIs in this map and get the elemental versions, etc., and that's all great. But it takes a little bit of work. And if you're doing the Easter egg, you don't need the elemental versions of the Mark IIs, like they're just not a step in the egg at all, but you can still get yourself a Mark II for free simply by finishing the clock step of the egg right at the beginning of the whole thing, and then going up the stairs in Rushmore's building and grabbing the Mark II out of the little wall cabinet. It'll be free, it won't cost you anything, and you can also get a free Pack-a-Punched gun at the same time in your game from doing the same step from a locker inside the prisoner holding building. That will be a free papped gun for every player in your team, I believe, as well. So lots of guns for all the family. There's another egg that I made a video about the other day that is just a good one to troll your friends for the first couple times you play the map. If you activate Ted by entering the code TEDD into Rushmore and then go downstairs and knife him a bunch of times, he'll eventually zap the room, like the entire lounge will get electrocuted, and you can completely rip your teammates by doing this. It's a pretty fun one to kind of sabotage other people in your game, and it's just a good thing to know about. Another tip I have for you coming via PK in my Discord server is to open the map through operations rather than through the other side. The reason being, if we go this side, we can get all 3 shield parts as we head towards that generator lockdown in the bunker, and then when we finish that, afterwards we can build the shield straight away in the APD control area, and that means that when we're doing the vents, we'll have a shield built, which will make our life a lot easier. Anyway, there's also a tip for when you're doing the generator lockdown itself in order to milk more points out of the map. If you keep all the zombies in there alive and then kill them after the lockdown has ended, they'll give you full points for each kill, whereas if you kill them during the lockdown, you'll get between 10 and 30 points per kill, which is obviously a lot worse. So if you want a massive point boost, save those zombies, don't kill them, and then as soon as the lockdown's over and the doors are back open, then you can just kill them off and get your full points. There are a few other tips for you to milk points in the map. One is that zombies spawn in a bunch when you're doing that vent step, so you can rely on that and earn a bunch of points during that as long as you don't do all the vents all at once. And secondly, another tip from Famed Gazelle, your Easter egg is basically made up of several core values, and when you get to each core value, your zombies will despawn and then respawn with even more of them in the map. And so again, you can kind of tactically use this to keep getting even more points earlier in the game than you otherwise would have them. The round 200 Easter egg can be a little tricky to try and do at later rounds just because you basically have to escort a ball around the map. Again, guide in the description down below. There's actually a Rushmore code for this as well to open the shed which the ball comes out of. It's just shed. S-H-E-D. Another tip for Pack-a-Punch is when you're holding square on all the vents, kind of like Final Reich style, you are able to turn around. You don't need to keep facing the vent. You can just hold square when you get next to it, and then you can spin 180 and start shooting zombies, etc. while you're holding square, and it will still keep turning the vent. This will save you a lot of trouble when those zombies start sneaking up on you. It can get really difficult, so just turn around and shoot them in the head, and you'll be fine. You might find that when you get into the map, you have a little bit of trouble finding a good place to train. The best place, I would say, or at least one of the most consistent spots, is at the back of Yellow House. It's probably one of the most open areas of the map, and it's a good spot to run around. You can also run around downstairs as well. For example, in the generator's room, there's actually quite a lot of room down there. It might not seem like it at first, but there's a fair bit of space, and the good thing is that the room is in a circle, so you can kind of make use of the fact that a lot of the zombies will be behind you and just keep running around the big room over and over again, and you should be all right. The back of Yellow House, though, is my preferred spot. You can also control what kinds of zombies are spawning, depending on where you are in the map. So if you're up top and you're training in back of Yellow House, you'll have a load of electric zombies spawning at the start of each round, because they'll be on the rooftops. But if you're downstairs in the generator room, you'll end up with a load of the gassy zombies instead. This is actually a tip from Got Any Nines. So if you find one or the other really annoying to deal with, try switching spots and see if that makes things easier for you. Those of you that are into the storyline can go and talk to Marlton. He's down in the bunker. You just need to knife it and he'll talk to you, and then knife it and he'll talk to you again. It's a cool little Easter egg. And there's also loads of radios around the map. I mean, this doesn't affect gameplay so much, but I figured I'd mention it just in case. There's punch cards, which are little strips of paper, reels, and then also separate radios. And they've all got some great story info. So if you're into the storyline, go check out all of that stuff and you'll be pleasantly surprised by just how much there is of it. I think it might also be useful to very quickly run through a few important locations in the map. Your perk locations are 1, when you just drop down from the spawn area in that kind of clearing, 2, in the Yellow House garage, 3, in the diner, and 4, in the generator room. Your Bowie knife spawn is also downstairs in the bunker. The Galvanuckles spawn is inside the red truck. The door's a little expensive though, and Galvas still cost 5k, so bear that in mind. Maybe that's something to use your free door Easter egg on from Rushmore. Now to just quickly talk about one of the elemental ray guns. The yellow one that kind of fires a bomb blast is really good, like it's strong, but it runs out of ammo pretty quickly. However, there's a trick to make the most of the ammo that it does have. What you'll normally be able to do is hold a charged shot and that'll fire 3 shots worth of ammo, or a single shot and that'll fire 1. If you burn through the single shots in a magazine and you go through 5 out of 6 of them, you can then hold down and do a charged shot even though you've only got 1 left in your mag. This means that you're basically getting 8 shots for the price of 6. And with the ammo this low on this weapon, that's actually quite a significant improvement. You can unlock a civil protector called Sergeant Adam for use in your game by doing the very beginning of the Easter egg and entering 4 specific codes found around the map into Rushmore. The locations are in my Easter egg guide, but one thing to note is that the first use of him is free, so even if you're not doing the egg, you might want to activate those codes just to get yourself a free civil protector to use at some point. A tip from Bravo Fantasy, the wall-to-wall clearance elixir makes the Galvanuckles cost only 10 points, which is a bargain. This tip only lasts for a limited time. There's currently a special offer on elixirs, which you can spend your plasma on, which gives you 3 triple guaranteed rare or better elixirs and a triple guaranteed talisman. It's a god deal. You're unlikely to see a deal this good or better again in Black Ops 4 Zombies, certainly for another couple of months, so I highly recommend you spend all of your plasma on this. That's gonna wrap it up from me for now, but hopefully this has been useful for you guys. Like I said, down in the description, I've got loads of guides on everything you could possibly need in the map, so check all of those out, and I'm sure you'll find those useful too. Cheers for watching, I'll see you next time, bye for now.